Hello friends and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Now, last episode we started setting up our machines using the mechanism mod. So moving from thermal expansion all the way onto mechanism, and we are making really good progress through this new pack. However, we started running into some significant bottlenecks in regards to power and item moving, and you can see just kind of the mess that I have behind us as a result. So today I want to start unlocking some of the extra features in this pack, the out of the way, not required quests that are going to make our lives a little easier. So with no further ado, let's dive right in. So today we are going to start unlocking some of these extra elite quests here. We're skipping over the advanced research. There's not a lot there that we really need in addition to what we have right now, but the elite research gives us a couple of things that I'm interested in. I really want to make sure that we get the Flux Networks so that we can have our power management unlocked and a little bit easier than using all these cables we're using today from Immersive. And I also want to unlock Laser IO. I've never actually used Laser IO, but I know it's a way of moving items around, or I think that's correct. So I want to unlock that as well. Now, to unlock the Flux Networks, I first have to unlock Ender Ore. So that's the first thing that we are going to do here is get this item. So we need to get ourselves some research papers, which I don't think we have any of, but we do have some regular paper. We can turn that into research papers. There we go, like that. We're going to have to make some more paper here momentarily. And with that, I've made up some elite techium. I actually made a whole bunch of elite techium between episodes, as well as a bunch of advanced techium. And we're going to use that on our Ender Ore here with these gold blocks. So we take that along with our tech bucks, and we can submit each of these. And this is really expensive. This is 8 tech bucks for this. That is going to get us our Ender Ore. Now, to actually get our Ender Ore, we have to go all the way back over here to our Ores R Us and purchase it. There's no other way to get this as far as I am aware. So we are going to submit our remaining tech bucks just to get our Ender Ore. So that is a rough and expensive amount for us to get this. Now, to use this, we can put it in the miner, but we need to get tier 5 support frames set up. So we have those. I think we have way higher than tier 5 laying around here. Sorry, where did we put those? Yeah, we have a bunch of tier 5 support frames. So we just need to find a place that we can set this down and attach it to the rest of our network. Anything that looks like it's tier 5 or above. So I think all of those are on the back of this. Yeah, we've got plenty of room here for some tier 5. Actually, I might go ahead and just build it right on top of this section, because that would be the cheapest way to do it. And we can just expand out from here. So let me expand this platform real quick. There's our platform and our frame setup. And now we just load this up with Ender Ore, and we will be pretty good. Put a miner on top of that, and we put our drawers on top of that. And now we are going to get Ender Ore in. Perfect. Now, Ender Ore is a little tricksy here, much like everything else in this pack. We can't turn it directly into our Ender Pearls. Instead, we either have to put it in an enrichment chamber or a pulverizer. We get a 2-to-1 ratio to get Ender Pearl fragments. Those Ender Pearl fragments then can be turned into all of this weird stuff that I don't know anything about. But more importantly, it can be turned 9 of them into a single Ender Pearl. So for our next set of research unlock, we are going to need 4 Ender Pearls, which means we need to hang out here until we have 4 times 9 times 2. So 72 pieces of Ender Pearl fragments. Or, excuse me, 72 pieces of Ender Ore. With 72 pieces, we can then turn into our fragments that we need, the 36 fragments. Okay, there is our 36 pieces of Ender Pearl fragments out of our pulverizer. Drop that into our crafting grid, and we get 4 Ender Pearls. We can then use those 4 Ender Pearls, not for Laser IO, but for Flux Networks. Great, so we need to submit that along with some tech bucks, but I fear, we might be out of tech bucks here. Let's take a look at how much we need here. We need 8. So we need another source of tech bucks. So I think what I'm going to do is take up a bunch of our bronze and our advanced techium, because I made extra, figuring that I would have to buy more tech bucks. Now, the elite techium is actually not a very cost-effective trade, I think, doing this much work just to get 7 tech bucks, but 4 for this, I can almost justify. I think that that's probably worth it. I probably should just do the singles, but whatever. So let's grab ourselves a stack of bronze here, and we are going to craft ourselves up some tech bucks. So let's do, how many do we need here? So I think we're going to need at least 16 to buy the rest of the things that we need. So let's take a look real quick. Flux Networks, we're going to take and submit our book and our tech bucks. There we go. And that's going to get us part of the way. And you know what? I think we have a tech buck laying around from Ultimate Techium here because we made the infused crystalline at the last episode's end. Okay, so let's go ahead and make up, last but not least, our laser IO book here. We take that, and then let's go ahead and submit that. And there is laser IO. Okay, great. So now we have access to both of those mods. Let's see what we got out of that. So Flux Networks, we have all of these things for Flux power connection and building networks of power. So I wonder how we get started in this now that we don't have access to our normal Flux dust. Oh, okay. So we can crush it with obsidian on top of what? A flux block, but we can't make a flux block yet. So apparently we need to just get some obsidian, which we can make in our our blast chiller with lava. So let's go ahead and make a bunch of flux dust up real quick. So here's our blast chiller, and we'll go ahead and grab up another jerry can. I know I left those around here somewhere. I moved them over here, that's why. Let's go ahead and grab up our lava out of our lava tank here. Plenty of lava still in our lava tank, just overflowing with lava, even with all of our new dynamos. And we're going to dump that in our blast chiller, which should quickly turn into our obsidian. Now, I've been running low on power intermittently when my crushers and whatnot, my presses were running. So I did set up 3 lapidary dynamos. I talked about this before. These are a really easy recipe. You can do them very, very cheaply here. It just requires lapis, redstone, gold gears, redstone flux coils, and iron ingots. So this is a great way to get started because we are making way more of our gems than we know what to do with. So I've got almost just too much lapis. I don't even know what to do with all of this, as well as our ruby and our sapphire. Peridot, it doesn't have a recipe in this for some reason. I'm not sure why that is, at least that I've found. So this is just cranking through, burning our gems and making us a lot of power. So that's really, really useful. So just an aside, did set those up to add to our power system. The other upgrade I made too, while I'm mentioning it, is I went from our basic factories to advanced factories for both our infusing factory as well as our enriching factory. So these are both now the next stage up. That means they have 5 slots in them, so we can do 5 items at once, which is really, really useful. Okay, so we're getting a bunch of our obsidian in here, so let's go ahead and take, and let's not do too much obsidian, right? We want to take our obsidian like so, and our redstone, again, we have a lot of that, and let's just do a stack for now of our flux dust. So Flux Networks, flux dust. We are going to need, let's see here, a flux plug to put power into our network. We're going to need a flux point to add power to our machines, and I think I need 1 per machine. I think that's how this works. And I'm going to use a controller for wireless charging, but I don't think I need that to start. I struggled with this in the last mod that I used it into. It wasn't Feed the Factory. I think it was FTB Skies was the last time we used this. And then we're going to need a flux storage container as well. That's easy enough with glass panes. Ooh, can I make a higher tier one as well? Oh, we just need 6 of those. Okay, but what do we need to make a flux block? Flux dust and flux cores. Flux cores need eyes of ender. For that we need blaze powder. But we do not have a direct way of getting blaze powder except for to break flux coils. Okay, that is annoying. So we're gonna need to make a bunch of flux coils and then grind them down. Okay, that's easy enough. We have plenty of redstone and plenty of gold. Let's make a stack of those, and we will drop this into our pulverizer, and hopefully that'll give us all the blaze powder we need, if not way more blaze powder than we need. All right, and there's our blaze powder coming in. We can combine that with the ender pearls we just made, and that's gonna give us eyes of ender. So let's go ahead and make up it looks like we can only do 4 of those right now. Is that going to be enough, or are we going to need more than that? Let's see here. Flux cores. That's going to give us a few. Can we make a flux block? Yeah, I think we can do this. Yeah, we'll just make up as many of these as we can. And it looks like we are short on obsidian, so let me go get a little bit more lava and we will make more. You know, it might even be worthwhile to make ourselves up a miner just for obsidian. So maybe in the background, as I'm doing other tasks, I'll keep blast chilling a bunch more obsidian until we can make a miner for it, hopefully towards the end of the episode if we're lucky, if we get enough of this done in time. And there we have 16 flux cores. Okay, that is going to be a okay start here. So we're going to need to make ourselves a few flux blocks. Let's just go ahead and make 2 for now, because this is getting pretty darn expensive here. All right, so let's go ahead and make our flux configurator here. There we go. And we can make our basic flux storage. There we go. And now we also have our flux configurator made. And now the only thing left is a flux plug and a flux point. So let's go ahead and make a flux plug, and then we will make a flux point. There we go. Okay, so that is all of those things. That should be enough to build ourselves up a basic network. So let's see here. This provides energy and this takes energy from. So let's go ahead and put our flux plug over here. Maybe we use our lapidary system. Maybe this is where it goes. So let's pull these off. So let's put our dynamo here on this side of it. So plug is receiving. So let's put this here. Let's put the dynamo this way. I think it goes the other way, right? Let's do it the other way. This way. Okay. Yeah, and see, that's connecting up nicely. That's what we want to see. We'll put another dynamo here, and the third dynamo we made on this side. So this should all be inserting into the flux plug. Let's go ahead and put our various items in the slots, and this should go into the flux plug. Okay, so this is all set up here. Network, we need to create a new network. We're just going to do that, and it's not encrypted. We want a public network. We're going to create that, and there we go. There's one network. Perfect. Now we need a place to store the power, so I don't know if this needs to be connected to that plug or not. If we just put this over here and choose the network, will that just work? Oh, there we go. I just had to go and reselect it after I created it. So that's getting 120 in. And yes, this is getting energy and storing it. That is perfect. That's what we like to see. So this storage container should start holding all of our power. Now all we have to do is start outputting that power to our various locations. And right now, the only way we have to output it is this single flux point that we've got. So what we can do is actually just connect this up to a machine or series of machines that we're going to want until we get some of our other cables unlocked from, like, I think Power mod that we're about to unlock has them as well. So let's go ahead and put this down on one of our machines that uses a lot of power. Probably, yeah, let's go ahead and put it on this one, our infusing factory. So we'll pull that off and stick that on there. This we then need to choose the network like so. And this should allow us to export power into this machine with no problem. So, only way to test that is to start trying to infuse something. Let's go ahead and grab up some carbon and some steel, make some steel with it. So there's the carbon, there's our iron ingots. We will dump half of this enriched carbon into here, and then we'll put this in here like so. And if this is doing correctly, yes, it is doing correctly because the buffer is not dropping. Let's just wait a second and make sure that the buffer continues to not drop. Yeah, so this is now being powered off of our flux point. Perfect, that's pretty darn good. So we do need to continue to expand this by building a whole bunch more flux plugs and whatnot, but that's going to require a whole lot more resources than what we've got. So we will come back to that shortly. Okay, on to laser I/O. Now laser I/O, it looks like, is going to be very expensive for us because it uses these logic chips, and the logic chips use elite techium. So I can't really afford to make too many of these. I can go ahead and make gold nuggets. That's easy. I think that was the only thing I was missing there in my ingredients list. And there we go. I'm going to make up 12 chips for the price of one of our elite techiums. These I need to then put into, what, a smelter of some sort? Looks like even the jumbo smelter will work. So let's just go ahead and dump it into our jumbo smelter. We have enough charcoal in here that this will make quick work of this. And again, we can do 52 items at once in this jumbo furnace. So that should cook up for us nicely. There we go, all done, and those will just go into our inventory. Actually, we don't have an inventory slot, so we are going to have to grab these up manually here. And now the first things first that we're going to make is the book, because this is going to tell us how to make all of the things in the pack. Again, I haven't used this at all, so this is new to me. Looks like we're using cards like item cards to interact with fluids. Oh, and this can transfer energy, so maybe this is the way that we transfer our energy around instead of just using that single node. So we need to figure out how to make those various cards. So, interesting. Okay, so different types of cards that we can use, different modes that those cards can be in. Okay, this is all super cool. And we need laser connectors to be able to connect directly to each other. Oh, the maximum range is 8 blocks. Okay, gotcha. So we use these laser connectors. So this basically is going to work just like our other connectors that we've got. We're going to need to make a laser wrench to connect things. Okay, and that's easy enough. We can build one of those with no trouble. And card holder. Okay, that's going to hold all of our cards. Logic chips. Okay, we've learned about already. All right, great. So let's go ahead and make up our wrench to start here. That's easy. We're just going to use one of those chips that we made. Let me just go and drop those off. All right, let's make ourselves, let's see, at least a connector or two, right? Oh, and these are pretty expensive too, aren't they? Okay, so let's make ourselves up, I don't know, let's say like 8 of these, like so, and then we're going to need a couple of laser nodes at least. So let's go ahead and grab up and make, I don't know, 4 of these. Okay, so now we are also going to need our energy cards. So these are also pretty expensive. Let's go ahead and make a couple of these up. And it looks like that's all I'm going to be able to make because I'm just out of logic chips now. The dependency here on elite energy is, the elite chips for energy is going to be a big problem for us. I don't know if we're going to be able to actually use this at scale until we can mass produce our elite techium, which we can't do yet. So I guess what we could do here is, instead of having this flux point on there, we can use an energy card or a series of energy cards, right? So if I put a laser node on this, right, and a laser node on this, I think I should be able to click these with my wrench and connect them. All right, so this block here, we are going to, I wonder if I need 2 cards here for each operation, because I'm actually pulling power from here and putting it into here. So does this mean I need an up card and a down card? That's interesting. Let's see here. If I need 2 cards each, then that's going to be extremely problematic. So this actually, we want to insert power into the down side here, right? So let's go to the down and let's insert power here. Okay, and then we grab this energy card and let's change this to extract mode, and we'll put that into this, and let's make that the up side. And then on that, we are going to put our flux point on the top here. So that should give us power in. And I see an arrow going from that. So this should be outputting into this. And that should be going into this. And that should be getting power here. So we still have some carbon left. Let's double check and see if that actually worked or not. We're going to go ahead, come down here, and let's grab up more of our iron. Going to put our iron into this. And if that doesn't drop down, then we know that it's getting more power in. Yeah, so this is pulling power from our system here. So that seems to be working pretty well. But that's all of my energy cards now. I don't have any energy cards left. And if I pull this out, yeah, it just stops working. So I think this, at our current state, is going to be too expensive for us to use. We don't have enough elite techium. I think instead we're going to have to make a whole bunch of flux points, because these are comparatively, but not super cheap for us to make with just obsidian and ender pearls, basically. That's really all we need there. All right, so last but not least, let's go ahead and set up a miner for our obsidian. I think that's going to be the last thing that we are going to be able to accomplish today. And then maybe between episodes, I will go ahead and see if I can't keep getting enough resources together to finish our Flux network here. I know it's going to take me a little while to get all those pieces in place here, but this should hopefully work pretty well. So let's go ahead and put these down like so. Put a miner on top, and then put our oak drawer on top of that. And hopefully, very quickly, we will start getting some obsidian in. Oh, we are missing a redstone block here. Let's put this on. Oh, there we go. And now we are getting obsidian. So we have infinite obsidian generation, and that should remove some of our bottlenecks that we were having before. Okay, and with that, I think that brings us to a close of this episode of Enterprise Architecture. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you back here next time. Bye, friends!